Good afternoon, good evening. How the devil are we? How are you, George? Are you well?
I'm good. Bit tired, but good.
I feel that. Now, I don't think we're going to be able to catch up with all the comments straight away because there's a lot of them. People are here. People are ready for it.
Hello.
Let's have a look and see who's in the chat. Viv Visions. He was early, gang. Welcome, Viv. Thank you, Ken. Nay is ready for it. She has been here for a while. Hello, Nay. An absolute pleasure to have you. Baum, hello, my friend. Hello. Nice to have you on board. Who else? Who else? Oh, there we go. Paul's monitors. Oi, oi. I don't think I need to set up this time. No, we are here. We are ready.
I'm on time.
And Nay said no cancellations today as far as she's aware. Excellent. Alicia, thank you for joining. Appreciate you. Not a Muth. I've not seen you before. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you. Oh, actually, there you go. Ella. Hey, friend. Okay. Nice to have you on board. Thank you.
Hi, Ella.
Jay, hello, my friend. What's going on?
Sorry, guys.
So with regards to our profile pictures and or logos, what I see is a Ninja Turtle and the girl from Tangled.
Oh my god.
Oh god. Unfortunately, Paul, you're not the only person who said that Ragnar looks like a Ninja Turtle in the new logo, but it is what it is. Might be a little quiet this evening trying to help a guy rehome some royals. Legend. Absolute legend. Lula Bell, hello. How are you?
Hi, Lou.
Joining. Just like that, Paul's monitors and Happy Stat guy. Oh, Alicia, absolute legend. Billy, hello, thank you for joining. Damn, we got people ready for it today. Dan, early gang, what's going on? Thank you for joining, Dan. We got, okay, this is quite a popular one. Look, bang, bang. You reckon if we shout, he'll turn up? Riddler, Andrew, George, Riddler. Oh, look how, there you go. Plot twist, Riddler doesn't show up this time. I'm here. I am here. Gary, thank you for joining, my friend. Appreciate you. What should I say? Yeah, boy. I did the Riddler Call of the Wild and it worked. It did, in fact, work. Who else is in the chat? I think so far that's everyone. Maybe we'll get into this later. Chocolate powder and olive oil. Maybe we'll get into that later. Maybe not.
Exposing me.
Damn, there's so many comments. You absolute bunch of legends. Oh, here we go. Someone, let's go. Hey, everyone. Up at 2 a.m. for work. Excited for this. Ryan, thank you very much for joining. Appreciate you. Thank you. Sam, you're late, guys. Now, that was my fault this time. To be fair, we were bang on time. The only reason why it was saying it was late is because I set it up for 7:30, not 1:45. So it was saying it was time to go, and it wasn't. So my bad. Anyway, Jody, hello. A pleasure.
Hi,
Thank you for joining, Jody. Thank you. And here we go. Right, we are all caught up with shouting out everyone that's in the chat. First things first, thank you all for joining. Appreciate you all. I mean, there's 19 people watching the stream already. Imagine skipping me. Will, I'm sorry, I didn't see. Where did you say hello? Did I go too quickly? Whoops. Yeah, all you said was 13. What do you want from me? But yes, hello, Will. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Appreciate you, my friend. I'm not asking your question, by the way. BH, new logo. Yes, new logo for sure. Thank you. I hope everyone likes it as much as I do, even though I've had some Mutant Ninja Turtle comments already. Anyway, let's get straight into some questions, because we are both here and we are both ready for it. Now, we have got some absolute bangers. I've sent you the majority of them, but a few more have come in since.
Oh my gosh.
Not to put you on the spot too much.
Just to let you know, I am a little bit nervous, but we got this.
Don't worry about it. Well, don't forget, you're my first ever Riddler's Rambles guest, so this is going to be light work.
Oh, and look how far you've come. It's amazing.
Well, episodes. Actually, I can announce it now as well. To be fair, episode 6 is dropping on Thursday with the one and only Nay from Pippa Friends. Looking forward to that. Nay, I'm sorry, I still haven't sorted out any clips for you to share. I'm sorry, I will try my best. But yes, that's on Thursday, 8 p.m, and that's a Riddler's Rambles pre-recorded. So hopefully you can all join us for that as well. Ducking my question, yes, because it's just throwing shade. So we'll see. Yes, Pip and Friends, shout out to you. Ours is on Thursday, and it's a good one. Now, I'll be honest, she did similar to, obviously when you did Riddler's Rambles with me, and the sort of little part you were a bit nervous and not, you're a little bit more reserved, and then sort of by the middle to end, you were just buzzing and just everything was
flowing. Didn't stop talking.
It was similar to that. Nay was very similar. It was very much a case of, my first podcast, maybe after a while, it's a good one. So, looking forward to that. It's going to be. I'm
excited to watch it. I can't wait for that one.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Have you got a new camera, Riddler? I haven't, but it's just a bit lighter in here. I don't know if that's helping the natural lighting. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it looks when the sun goes down. Right. I tell you what. Let's start with. We've got quite a few. We've got some from the first initial one as well. All right, let's start with this one from. I still haven't asked her how to pronounce it. I don't know if it's Katie's Reptiles or Catty's Reptiles. I'm not sure, and I apologise. What's a reptile species you wouldn't want to keep? I'll let you start with that if you like.
Okay, I have made some notes. So it's, to be fair, it hasn't changed since the last podcast episode.
Bearded dragon.
Leopard gecko.
Yeah.
Hang on, I've learned how to pronounce tortoises. Wait, no, tortoises properly now.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe not. Tortoise, yeah. Those just don't really interest me. But my friend Alicia has a gorgeous, gorgeous beardie, and I have found. I think I've found a love for beardies since, but for me personally, I don't think I would ever get one.
To be fair, yeah, Alicia's is in a 6x2x2, I think, or I think something like that. Yeah. It's incredible. What a setup! George's crump's not good enough for you.
No, I love crumps. The other thing on my list, as much as I'd absolutely love one, is a reptile boa. I just don't think I could give sort of the right amount of space, the best life for it. Meeting all of those optimums, I don't think it would be fair. As much as I would love to have a gigantic enclosure, maybe grow tent even for a reptile boa, they are one of my dream species, but I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could give up that much space because we're quite limited in where we're living at the minute.
Is it one of those, but in the future, let's just say you had a massive space and the correct funds and things like that. Is that one that you would keep though?
I wish, but no, I don't think I could, because I don't think it would be the easiest to get all the food and all of the other things I'd need for it, with how big they get. I don't think I could do it. It wouldn't be fair to my partner either. He's quite nervous around snakes. He can barely handle my hognose. So I don't think it'd be kind.
No, that's fair enough.
Getting him on the boa train,
Yeah. For me, what would I not own? I wouldn't go for something like a croc monitor. I love them. I think they're incredible. They are stunning. Obviously the intelligence is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But for me, if all it takes is one bite and you could be hospitalized, I'm not keen. Like Ragnar bit me the other day. She decided that she fancied going on an adventure. My fault. She got out. I managed to get her on my arm using a locust on some tongs, and wouldn't you know it, the locust fell off of the tongs.
Oh no!
Which meant that she had one thing to go for, which was my thumb that I was holding on to, and she bit it. Luckily, it wasn't horrendous, but I did go, ow, and luckily she didn't sort of latch. But I got her back into the enclosure, fine, not a problem. Bit of blood, no, nothing major.
Oh, bless her.
That's a monitor that's yeah, fine. Like I say, it wasn't too bad. She's probably what, a 2.5, 3 foot monitor.
Yeah.
If a 6-7 foot croc gets your thumb, you don't have a thumb. It's gone. See you later. I don't know. I don't think I'm exaggerating. For me, I don't think I could do it. Purely for
that's fair.
Yeah, purely for like because like I say, I've been bitten by Ragnar. I wouldn't want to risk it with anything bigger. You know, venomous I wouldn't keep, as in like the proper venomous, like rear fang I think I'd keep, like a mangrove snake or obviously a hognose or something like that. Maybe a false water cobra, that'd be cool.
They are really cool. I like false
They are, but I don't think I would ever want to keep anything that if it bites you, you could either die or lose limbs. I'm not really down for that. I think those are my ones, to be fair.
That's fair. What are they called? Gaboon vipers. They are my absolute favorite. Like, I adore gaboon vipers, but I couldn't keep one. I couldn't dive into like hots. No way. Yeah. Not for me.
If I could keep one, but have someone else do the maintenance on it, then fine. If I hire someone
you risk your life.
You do the cleaning, you do the feeding. Fine. I just get to appreciate it from a distance. That's different. But all right, that was a good one.
Would you ever get into sort of handling them and things like that, like in facilities and
What is it? What, venomous? I'd like to see it being done. In actual fact, I have seen it done. The shop that I sort of used to part own, they had some venomous in the back, all licensed DWA and everything. It wasn't not that I care if they get found out. Long story. But I did see rattlesnakes. They had was it Eastern Diamond, Western albino Eastern Diamondbacks, I think they were, which were stunning, unbelievable animals. They had white-lipped tree vipers, was it? I think.
My knowledge on hots isn't too great. So.
Yeah. They did have a saw scale as well, which was pretty cool. So I've seen them being handled. I've seen them in person. I've seen them fed. But again, I wouldn't want to risk it myself. Like if someone said, I can train you, I'd be like, it's not worth it. I've been bitten by royals, which again doesn't hurt, but you don't have to say goodbye to your family if a royal python bites you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So for me, it's just not worth it. Oh, hello. Someone else has joined the chat. Kiwi, a pleasure. Thank you for joining.
Hello.
Just get a realistic life-size Gaboon Viper figurine or something. Moves just as much and is less likely to kill you. There we go. I'd love a Gila monster one day. Right. Please, I've been meaning to ask you, because obviously we've read your question out first. Is it just a different way of spelling Katie, or is it? Am I wrong? Is it Katie or is it Catty? I'm not sure. Please help me out. I'm not sure.
I would have said Catties. I could be wrong as well.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Let's have a look. Right. All right. So one of many from Mr. Fry's Reptiles himself. Is the second. What, Catty? Is that what? Is that? I think that's right. I think that's what we said second, isn't it? Yeah.
I think so. I'll always forget which order I've said names.
I know. Honestly, I just because I literally have just said it, and now I'm here. Here we go. Like a cat, Catty.
Okay.
Cool. All right, appreciate that. Thank you. We've been speaking quite a bit recently as well, and I've been meaning to say, how do you pronounce, your native? Like, we haven't been speaking like voice note or anything, but. I sometimes look at obviously our chat and I'm like, I need to ask, is it Katie or Catty? But because obviously she's asked questions for the live stream. So one of many from Mr. Fry's Reptiles himself. Things to avoid in the hobby.
Ooh. let me get my notes. 2 seconds. Do you want to start?
Matt, thank you for joining. Appreciate you, my friend. No worries. Oh, actually, to be fair, before you carry on, he's just reminded me, ladies and gents, this live stream may be cut short because my wife may go into labor any minute now. We don't know. It could be now, it could be tomorrow. So if you see me looking scared over there and all of a sudden I have to go, that's why. But we should be all right. Anyway, carry on.
Sorry, did you want me to go first or did you want to go first?
Oh, hang on. Someone else has joined. A pleasure. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you. Right. Things to avoid in the hobby is quite a few. I mean, we could start looking at equipment. So avoid red lamps. Yeah. Avoid reptile carpet, things like that. So you're basic husbandry stuff. But then you could also say stay away from the outdated husbandry advice and things like that. Do you know what I mean? So those that say I've been doing it this way for 30 years, so this is how you should do it. Be careful who you listen to. Now, obviously, experience matters, but you also need to see how the animals are kept. So be wary of who you listen to and who you take advice from is something I'd say.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree with all those points. I definitely think when looking at, how to care for an animal in particular, using multiple sources can be really useful and sort of comparing, contrasting, and then you can kind of pick out sort of the better elements. Does that make sense? I've been doing it recently for my mossy frog research, and a lot of them have very conflicting sort of information on how best to keep them. Yeah. And it's so overwhelming. I'm not going to lie to you. It is so overwhelming, and especially when you're first sort of joining the reptile space. Yeah. And getting a new animal or whichever sort of position you're in. My sort of red flags and things to avoid. Obviously there's equipment, but I wanted to get into sort of more of the general things because not all equipment can be used for every single species. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I try my best when looking at care sources to avoid things terms like easy, minimums, like minimum care size or minimum enclosure or just minimum attitude in general.
Yeah.
These mainly when they're all used together, so not when they're used singly. So obviously there are minimums for a reason, but when all of these sort of phrases are used intertwined, it's quite alarming and definitely a very big red flag. So things like easy, minimum care or size, cheap, budget friendly, things like that. Of course, you can have a budget when it comes to a new animal, but I think going about it in the right way. Yeah. Does that sort of align with your values?
Oh, yeah. I mean, because there's a difference between cheap and cutting corners. 100%. Like people will look for the cheapest, and it probably is one of those that it's not actually appropriate for the animal, but it saves 3 or 4 quid. It's worth that extra bit of money, or even if it's more than that, even if it's an extra 20, 30 quid, if it means your animal is going to be happier, healthier, safer, it's worth it. At the end of the day, if you're not willing to spend the money, you probably shouldn't do it. But the thing is, that goes with most walks of life. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of hobbies that, this one's different because there's animals involved, there's life involved. But if you're not willing to put the money into it, because obviously at the end of the day, you don't even have to look at equipment. If your animal gets sick, you need to be willing to fork out money to pay for that animal to live a healthier, happier life. You can't just go, it's not very well, I'll just wait for it to go and get another one.
And it always happens at the worst time as well.
100%.
Emergency vet visits will be the bane of my existence.
Yeah. Oh, Holly, thank you for joining. Appreciate you. Be wary of care advice older than 5 years. A good keeper can take anything from anyone. Avoid being narrow-minded. Yeah. Oh, if someone is willing to give you time to give advice, you should be willing to give time and listen. You don't have to implement it, but yeah. And learning from other species will teach you loads about your species. That's a good one, which I guess is something that you're implementing quite a lot, isn't it? Because obviously there's that whole thing with a lot of people say to you, the haters mainly, you've only got 2 reptiles, but I'm not being funny, you know more than just those 2 reptile species. You know what I mean?
Breeding.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I honestly, my best sort of thing to live by is quality over quantity and have an open mind. If someone or multiple people tell you, hey dude, you might want to look into this, or maybe you're doing this aspect a little bit differently than maybe what's best for the animal, look into it. Because honestly, what could hurt? Reading up about a subject you might not have considered before, that you might be doing wrong, or you might have a different approach to, that sort of thing. I'm always sort of adapting, I suppose, my approach when it comes to like reptile keeping. Just constantly like filling any weak spots that I might be a little bit what's the word? I don't know, like not as topped up on.
Yeah. Fair enough. Just a quick one. Viv, thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate you, my friend. Legend. Yeah, basically. Couldn't agree more. Another one from Frizy. Do you have any mentors?
When I saw this question, I wasn't sure. Do you mean mentor as in like a guide, or do you mean mentor as in like monitor lizards? Because I thought there may have been a typo.
No, mentors as in like someone you look up to, someone that helps you in the hobby, that sort of thing.
100%. Yeah. I have mentors in all walks of life. I've got lots of mentors in my sort of educational space that I do on a day-to-day. And then I have mentors in sort of the reptile community as well. Arcadia have been a massive support network for me at the minute. Jodie, if you're still watching, I love you. And honestly, so many of my mutuals have been the most support I could have ever asked for. Nay, Alicia, Billy, like everyone in Team Educate Don't Break. Like, can I swear?
Yeah.
I fucking love you guys. Genuinely, like it's been so uplifting to sort of be surrounded by like-minded individuals, and it's really shifted my attitude and my approach towards education and keeping and like sharing myself online. So thanks guys.
Jodie said, love you, George. And she also said, what a pretty lanyard you have there.
I know. Do you like it?
I love you, George. There we go. God, look at all this love. Look at all of this love.
Honestly, they're great. I think they're amazing.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I must admit, I know he's here. Paul has been nothing but a mentor for me. Like we get on like a house on fire. Like there's, in actual fact, we disagree on more things than we agree on. That's mainly life aspects.
Yeah.
But the help this man has given me and the progress my care has made and my like knowledge since meeting Paul and speaking to him is just through the roof. Absolutely through the roof. So I appreciate you, Paul. Thank you. Obviously, you know, there's a few of them, to be fair, and the help goes a very, very long way. Like, for example, 100%. I'm also like Will Exotic. Ravishing Reptiles, my co-host for True Tales. Brad's Bioactive Builds. He is great. He is very, very fiery man. Man.
I love it.
Brad is going to be helping me out a lot soon, because obviously Reptile Room 2.0 is on the way, and I've got some ideas that he's done on his enclosures, and I just know that man will give me the time of day when I need it. So and he's so switched on. He knows his stuff as well. But yeah, there's a few of you, and if I've forgotten to shout you out, I do apologize.
Me too. There's so many.
I hate that we're associated.
I couldn't go through every name.
All right, I'm sorry, Paul. All right, Paul is not my mentor. Paul's got me interested in gill and eyes. Ah, interesting. Very interesting. Eggs are cooking. Best pet monitor. I'll be honest, they were sick. I saw the gill and eye for the first time a few weeks ago. First of all, I know they're called pygmy mulga monitors, but I didn't realize how small they actually were. Like, all these things like seem a lot bigger, obviously online and things like that. And then when I saw, especially the babies in person, oh, that big, teeny tiny, and then like a full-grown adult is like that big. You know, like I knew they were smaller than Aki monitors, but not by that much. Because I held his Aki monitor as well. It's not that big. It's like it's a beast. Paul gets everyone interested in monitors in general. That's facts. That is facts.
Yeah, I was watching, I think, that video when I was in the gym, like on the treadmill, dying, like, this is the only thing keeping me going right now. It's the reptiles.
Yeah. Could be happy to send you isopods. Isopod loves travels far. Yes. Honestly, don't need any encouragement. That's true. No loss of toes, as they are true desert monitor. Just forget about them. They're good. Love that.
I do apologize, by the way, that I'm squinting so much. It's because my eyesight is horrific and I cannot actually read the comments that are coming up in front of me.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Paul has unfortunately made me obsessed with mangroves. You were close at one point, weren't you? You were close, very close. I remember we were chatting about that as well. And then I didn't help because I sent her a photo of me holding one of the mangrove babies. She's just like, "What? Why would you do that?"
I think, to be fair, it was like yourself and Paul that have got me into monitors a little bit more than I used to be.
Yeah, I mean that's one of my. In actual fact, that's one of the questions coming up. Like, what are the plans for 2024? We won't get too much into it now, but one of my plans is hopefully a couple more monitor species. So that's good. We'll get into that a little bit more because I think that's too good to, we'll save that for a little bit. That's super
exciting.
I think this question was for you. I'm assuming this is directed towards you. What isopods are you thinking? Was that for you or was that for Ryan? No, I'm assuming.
I can
answer. Well, you can answer anyway. Yeah, you can answer anyway.
When I can keep them alive, because I can keep my snake and my gecko really well. I struggle with inverts, and of course I don't want to harm any sort of life, no matter how small. I really love rubber duckies. I really love dairy cows. I've got some panda kings actually just behind me. But I'm not going to be sort of splashing the cash on any sort of isopods in the near future, just because I want to focus on one species at a time, I think.
Yeah.
And getting the bioactives quite established with a really solid cleanup crew.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at how well Pluto's enclosure is doing since it's arid. It's got a little humid pocket and the isopod love it in there. So.
Yeah. No, they are cool. I've again slowly started getting a little bit better with the isopods as well. Not as good, but I've managed to keep some yellow zebras alive and some panda kings as well. The magic potions didn't last very long, unfortunately. I must have done something wrong. But that's why I'm not willing to risk it with the price of rubber duckies, to be fair. So, again, it's not down to the money. I don't want them to die, but it's one of those where you're not confident in the care.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I get you. I really love Jupiter isopods as well. I think I've got my colony of granulated that Ryan gifted me. Thank you, by the way, if he's watching this. And I think they're doing okay, but I'm not confident enough in my care to sort of go ahead with the duckies or any other sort of species just yet.
Yeah. Well, Michael has said, I was shockingly bad at inverts. That changes when you're trying to look after little bugs that are 40 plus pounds each. Yeah, fair enough. Check out Thai spikies. They're on the list. In actual fact, Thai spiky. Oh, isopod.
Yeah,
Let's have a quick look.
I think they're ridiculously expensive.
Is this going to let me open it? There
I might be thinking of a completely different species.
Share screen. Let's have a look at this. Oh
no, it is the one.
They are cool.
They're so cute.
Damn. Oh, which ones were these? These were the
Are they scarlets or ember bees?
Yeah, something like that. But they're cool.
I
Michael
think they're
will
one
know.
of Nay's favourites.
Yeah, they are cool. Right. Anyway.
We're getting a sidetracked by
I know. I know. White skull isopods. Pink pandas. I didn't know there were pink pandas. That's pretty cool. Cappuccinos and scarlets.
I do like a cappuccino.
Eastern pineapples. I love these names. They're incredible. Shiny
so
gators were the biggest letdowns of my life. After I got some, I sold all of mine. Oh, damn. Just as easy as your Panda Kings. Oh, okay, well, all right, fair. I think it just, do you know what? I think it is the fear factor of, like he said, spending £40 on a little bug and just being so scared. But then again, at the same time, you could spend 400 quid on a reptile and you'd have the same fear, I guess. So there is that.
I have the fear with my frogs if it gives anyone any peace of mind.
Yeah.
But I do find keeping smaller animals, more fragile animals on a smaller scale, much more intimidating than getting sort of a bigger enclosure set up.
Yeah.
That's just me though, because I'm not as good with the sort of fragility of smaller boys.
Yeah. I call them Ronald McDonald. Michael, hello, you have scarlets. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I only keep Cubaris and Marullanella species. I got it. I nailed it. Right. Let's have a look. All right, this one is from Sam, a fellow Team Educate Don't Berate member. Thank you, Sam. What sparked both of your passions for reptile keeping?
Ooh. Oh, okay. Yeah, So, I was very, very young, and I first held a snake at like a party when they've got lots of like animals, like tarantulas, snakes, other sort of, the unloved sort of creatures to sort of get children a bit more integrated into that, I suppose. I fell in love with this little corn snake. There is a photo of me somewhere online holding this little corn snake. But what really solidified it for me was watching Emily and Ed on YouTube. I don't follow Snake Discovery much anymore, but genuinely they did really, really spark my enthusiasm and interest for reptile keeping in particular. Specifically hognoses. Which, I wouldn't recommend for care, but definitely, if you would like to sort of have a look, it might be good to sort of analyze or just to keep you aware of things going on in the hobby.
Yeah.
And reptile space.
Do you know what? Mine actually, it was almost quite gradual, my entry into reptiles, I think. I'm not really sure, like what because obviously I went from, for example, I used to have a couple of leopard geckos, for example, but then something must have happened along the way where I went from that to I'm currently sat in a reptile room and there's materials in the conservatory ready to be built into a bigger reptile room. I do think finding like-minded people helped. to be fair.
100%.
Because at school, things like that, or at the times that I was keeping reptiles, I didn't know it was such a big hobby. So I was sort of the only one. There wasn't really anyone I could talk to about reptiles. Like, it wasn't really, I didn't have any mutuals. Do you know what I mean? Like reptile mutuals. It was just me. I was the weird guy that liked lizards.
It was your little niche.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think finding how big the hobby actually was and finding people that are as, well, if obviously a lot more excited and passionate about it than I am, I think that helps drive you a little bit more, because you see the passion behind the way some people do it and you go, that's sick. I want that as well. Like, I like it. And if that's what you can achieve, then that's goals. So in all fairness, as much as we do slate social media sometimes for being toxic, it can also help spark a passion.
100%.
So I think that's where mine started, really. Because like I say, the only reason we've got any reptiles is because we just walked into a reptile shop where we live, which I ended up part owning, but the less said about that, the better. If you know, you know. And we went from one bearded dragon to, you know,
A family.
all of this. And it's only progressing and getting, you know, more exciting. And with every new project I'm doing, it's just getting better. Like, every time I finish a DIY build, for example, I'm like, right, I really liked that. I'm happy with it. But here's what I can do better in the next one.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
100%.
Let's have a look. What are people saying? Oh, there you go. Lou agrees. I agree, George. My darts make me so anxious. I feel like we will need an isopod room or an isopod zoo. An isopod zoo is quite doable. I don't think you'd need a massive place for an isopod zoo. Running to wherever Michael sells his isopods. He is north of the wall. I always want to ask Eddie if he's in trouble. Make a hand sign if Emily is beating you. Not sold any yet, just letting all the tubs established. Got some rubber duckies here waiting with Ridler's name on them. I don't think I'm ever going to live that down. I really don't think I will. You could put my name on them instead if you want, Michael. I messaged Jodie about rubber duckies. Yeah, my rubber ducky tub is doing really well. Definitely. I met all of you lot on TikTok. It could be a great place to build community. Well, that's where Team Educate Berate has come from. So there you go.
Thank you, Nay.
Yeah. I'll be messaging you after the live. Love that. I'm so sorry. I've got to go up for 2 a.m. for work. No worries. No worries. Appreciate you. Thank you for joining. Ridley, all the best for the birth of your child. Take care, George. Yes, thank you. Like I say, it could be tonight, could be tomorrow, could be in a couple of days' time, could be next week. But thank you. Appreciate that. Damn. I'm sure Gary's life is a soap opera. I'm in my van watching this at work, and a huge swarm of bees just decided to camp on my van. My van is covered in bees. It sounds like hail.
Save the bees.
Yeah. Educate, don't berate. Love that. Yes, that was definitely for me. Jodie knows I'm on the hunt. There we go. Michael's got some customers for some rubber duckies.
I love all the isopod enthusiasm.
Honestly, it's gone off. It is gone off. Right, this is a good one because for me, there's a funny story behind this one, because I actually forgot the answer to this one until you reminded me. After we spoke on Ridler's Rambles, we came off and we were just chatting. Because the question is, how did you meet? As in me and you. Now, here's the funny thing. I genuinely forgot. Now, I don't mean that horribly, but because obviously, so essentially,
It's fine.
The story is, like I say, I used to part own a reptile shop, and George came into said shop one day. Well, you were on holiday, I think, weren't you?
I was on holiday with my partner's extended family, yeah.
That's it. Yeah, and they came into the shop. We got chatting. Obviously shared social media accounts, things like that. But the problem is we were chatting at the end of that Ridler's Rambles episode, and George, I think, just happened to say, "Oh yeah, you know, obviously because we've met and blah blah blah." And I went.
You looked at me like, sorry.
I was like, we've not. we've not met in person. What do you mean? You're like, no, we definitely have. I was like, when no, I literally came to your shop and I was like, it was that. Did you see the moment of realization? Like, unfortunately, it wasn't recorded.
Told you about. Do you not remember the other beard guy, like that came
and
into the shop, and you were like, "Oh my god!"
I was like, "Oh," because I thought we just found each other, like followed on social media at first. I was like, I thought it was just that, but no, we've. But
I think I followed you back when you were called Andrew's Balls or something,
which is a very original name. No one's ever thought of that before. When you've got royal pythons, I'm the only one that's ever thought of it.
Iconic.
Yeah. So it was that, and then obviously turned into Riddler Reptiles. But yes, so that's how we met. George came into the shop that I part owned. We got chatting, shared social medias. And here we are. But yes, I apologise that I forgot that, George. It's my bad.
It's okay. I don't take offence.
But here we are. What's probably about 3 years later, maybe?
Oh gosh.
2, 3?
That's a question.
Yeah, 2. I think it's probably.
Not sure.
My boy is nearly 2. It might be 3 years, because I wasn't a dad at that point, and he's 2 in May. So yeah, I think we might have known each other for about 3 years now.
Did I already? I can't remember if I already had Pluto or not.
I'm not sure if you did, because I think you bought something for your Cresty.
Oh, maybe no. I think I did because I remember buying that plant that was specifically for Pluto's enclosure.
Right. Okay.
Ah. So maybe I had the Cresty as well. Okay.
Who did you have first?
Pluto.
Oh, it was Pluto you had first. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Not me saying like the Cresty. Sorry, Nibiru. Let's name him.
Yes. Yeah. I'll be honest. I sort of remembered the name, but I didn't want to butcher it. I was like, I know the name, but I don't want to say it.
Nibiru. It's fine.
That's what it. Yeah.
People always get confused by the little umlauts, and I'm like, don't let it throw you off. It's just meant to look like a smiley face.
Andrew's Balls, George out here exposing you. Yeah. It's
I'm
fine.
sorry, I didn't mean to expose you.
No, it's fine. Like I say, I was joking about this on who are we chatting to? Because obviously Repti Chat used to be Ben's Balls as well. So yeah, there is that. How dare you not use the name? I know, my bad. I didn't want to butcher it. So yes, that's how we met, basically. And here we are, like I say, pretty much 3 years later. That was from Wagoner Reptiles. So appreciate you. Thank you. Janeway the Corn Snake, otherwise known as Natalia, has asked, what, in your opinion, is the most impractical reptile to own?
Is that towards us both?
Yeah, like what's your opinion on what's the most impractical?
Crocodilians.
Yeah.
Or alligator species, and like those two.
Yeah.
Please don't. Like maybe in sort of what are they called? Rehabilitation sort of sanctuary type things, but not for the average keeper at all.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Hard avoid for me.
Yeah. Because I mean, as much space as you can say you could give a Burmese python, a crocodile or an alligator, I think it's just a little bit too much. I've seen the way some people keep them. Obviously, they've got big, like vast enclosures, basically, but you do see a lot where it's like the size of a room in a house, maybe, or like a couple of rooms, and you're like, I don't think it's big enough.
It's always the water bit that kind of makes me a little bit like, I don't know if that's sufficient, I've never seen sort of a water area quite big enough.
Yeah, I think
I'm not an expert in that care. I'm not saying I am, but I've never seen it done properly ever, and I don't think it can be.
Camp Kennan's got a pair of alligators, and that enclosure is not bad. Like he has to, like there are separate entrances. There's a good water amount in the middle. There's land area. It's not bad. I don't. Yeah. That one's all right, but then you see the way some others are kept, and you're like, it's not enough.
I just need to see if I can put a name to a face.
Whilst you do that, Paul has said what species that's not on DWA. So that's quite an interesting one. So what reptile is what was the word? Impractical to own that isn't on DWA.
Can you clarify DWA for me?
Dangerous wild animals, is that what it is? Like, it's basically like the ones that you need a license for. That's a very good one. From commonly kept species, bosk monitors have to be up there. That's very, very good.
Yeah.
Exeter Exotics have a cooler dwarf caiman. They do, but I think the dwarf species, it's not as bad. Like, I think we're talking the big ones, like alligators and crocodiles. Excuse me. Sorry,
I personally wouldn't venture into it, and I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. But you know, unless there's things out there to sort of stop people, you know, I'm not wanting to make the rules, I suppose.
Yeah. But Jack, I must admit that is a good one. I think people forget. Like, I've not had one, but I know. I guess enough about them to know that I don't think I would have one unless I had literally an entire property dedicated to reptiles. It's you know, I've been to Paul's, for example. His that enclosure, I think, is 8 by 3 by 3, I think, or something, and that is pretty much standard for an adult bosk. Do you know what I mean? That's a big enclosure, and being predominantly.
Sorry, I missed that.
8 by 3 by 3.
Right. Okay.
So it's big, and they use that space. And I think no, they are predominantly insectivorous as well, and they need a lot of insects. So, yeah. And I think people forget that, and that's why you get so many fat bosk monitors that are fed chicks and rats and things like that. And it's a shame, but yeah. Well, there you go. You need bigger than 8 by 3 by 3. Males need bigger. Yeah, so Bumpy is in an 8 by 3 by 3. There you go. My bosk is tiny for a bosk. Yeah, there you go. What else was being said? There you go. So a dwarf caiman is way more practical than a Nile, croc monitor, Asian Burm retix. Yeah.
Yeah. More practical.
Yeah, so,
it probably just wouldn't be something I'd like venture into, or I wouldn't ever recommend it personally.
Oh, there you go. Dangerous wild animals license. You'd have one to keep almost all venomous and crocodilian species. So I guess then what Paul's getting at is, so what's the most impractical animal to own that doesn't need a license, essentially? I think, to be fair, I'll probably piggyback off my initial answer of what I wouldn't keep, which is a croc monitor. Again, yeah. I think the space they need is just, you need a unit or something. Like, you need, it's a massive, it's like a 7-foot lizard. Do you know what I mean? And it can hospitalize you. It's not practical, I don't think.
I suppose for me, like, I don't ever want to sort of put hardcore restrictions on things, but there is obviously a limit. I'd probably need to have a little look at the DWA before I sort of came in with a confident answer.
Yeah.
As to what's specifically classed under that, and then every single animal's, you know, needs. But I suppose just for now, if you're allergic, maybe don't get a sort of rear-fanged venomous, you know, like a hognose or like a, you know, maybe don't do that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put a restriction on it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, there are people that wouldn't be affected, or
Yeah. That's fair enough. I'd need a license for a Gila monster. Yeah, and I'd probably rather a Gila monster than a croc monitor, to be fair. So, I've recently discovered if I lived in different council, DWA would be part of my AAL license. Here I have to pay £3,000 extra on top. God damn. That's outrageous. Right. The fact that Cuviers is DWA, but a crop monitor isn't. Yeah, that's crazy. Right.
Yeah, I definitely need to go over the list of like what that would include specifically.
Another one from Frizy. What is your best tip for beginners?
Ooh, okay. Bear with me. I did write this one down. Okay. So I've got quite a lot of notes for this one.
Okay.
So I think we touched on this a bit before, but always be open-minded.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of don't approach things, I suppose, with the minimums. You know, it's good to have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a specific site I'm thinking of, or a source that has amazing sort of info surrounding this and on a very like individualized basis. I can't remember the name though, so I do apologize. No, I can't remember, it's gone. Always be open-minded. I think check for red flags when and where you can. When it comes to looking at sources, things like that. And don't be scared to ask for help. I know there's so many people online that are willing to, you know, help with whatever you need.
Yeah.
I think the reptile space can be such an intimidating place online. It's so conflicting, but we've all been there, and people are willing to help you if you ask. Don't sort of let people shame you for, you know, oh gosh, sorry, the thing's gone. The sentence is gone. I do apologize.
It happens. Don't worry about it. It happens. It's there.
My brain did a fart. I do apologize, guys.
Yeah. We've got a proper chat going on in here. Akis aren't. Oh, okay. We're talking about Akis and bearded dragons. A lot of people agreeing that it's pretty much easier to keep an Aki than it is bearded dragons. Beardies are harder than Akis to do correctly. Okay, yeah. Okay, 90% or more beardies in captivity. Oh,
sorry, we got a bit of a disco going on here. My light's getting a bit bright. I do apologize.
Akis are amazing pets. Yeah, just look at Catty's profile for that as well. Pickles is a legend. To be fair, which one was it? I was just reading out.
Yeah, could you repeat the question for me?
Oh yeah, what's your best tip for beginners is what we were talking about.
Best tip for beginners. I think it just links in with what we talked about. I think it was one of the first questions. All of my advice for that can be sort of pulled into one. Open mind, quality over quantity. Don't be intimidated by the amount of conflicting info online. There are people out there that want to help. There's amazing people that will dedicate their entire sort of any spare moment they have, you know, anyone in Educate Don't Rate, and a bunch more other people out in that sort of sphere, whether that be YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. There's something for everyone, and try and find people that are sort of in, you know, the specialism that you are specifically looking at reptile wise, whether that be hog noses. I'm free to like answer any questions, crested geckos as well. I know you would be happy to answer any questions regarding like roughnecks, just, you know, any other animal. See if there's someone that you look up to that might be able to help with any questions you might have.
Yeah. Tara has made it. Hello, Tara.
Hi, Tara.
Thank you for joining. I always say to beginners, we don't learn without mistakes. It's whether you 100%. Learn from it. Yeah, I agree. It's something I live and die by. It's okay to make mistakes as long as you're willing to learn from them.
Yeah, it's what you do once you realize, oh, shit, I made a mistake. Yeah. Okay, now what do we do? Yeah. Now what do we do? And what can we help with, you know? Yeah. How can we improve the well-being of that animal?
One thing that I'll say for beginners is just because you can doesn't mean you should. I have fallen into that before. It's very, very, very easy to go out and buy a reptile. Very easy. Like anyone can go to their local reptile shop or pet shop that has reptiles, and they can come home with a bearded dragon, a corn snake, a leopard gecko. Most of the time, not really many questions asked, or they can be sold like a starter kit. And you can go out, and an hour later you can be home with a new reptile. It's very, very easy, but it doesn't mean you should. I am still playing catch up. That's the problem with it. Like, it's all well and good getting these things, but like I got when I got 2 leopard geckos initially, obviously in separate enclosures, but they were both on underbelly heat mats and no lighting, no UVB, because I was told they didn't need it. You do more research, you look more into it, you find better sources, things like that. All of a sudden, you've got 2 enclosures that need overhead heat, UVBs, potentially LEDs if you want to go that far. Like, it is beneficial. And there you go. In those 2 UVB units alone, you're probably looking at, 70 quid plus, even just for, 2 shade dwellers, just for example. You got to get, the halogens, things like that. All of a sudden, you've got to play catch up, and you've got to spend money that you didn't initially. And then you've got some other animals that are not suffering, but lacking what they need as well. All because, and like I say, I'm still catching up. Like, I hold my hands up and admit that, and I'm happy to say so, because it is what I'm currently doing. So,
but you're doing an excellent demonstration of, right, what can I do now? And honestly, the amount of people that applaud you for that is, honestly, you deserve every bit of like love.
I appreciate that. Like I say, because I'm not ashamed to admit that I made mistakes. You know what I mean? And I'm still sort of paying for it. But I will never say, like, in the future, let's just say when the rack is completely gone, I'm not going to say in the future I've never had a rack. I will openly say, yeah, I used to keep snakes in a rack. 100%. I don't anymore because, well, shit. You know what I mean? Like, I get so much more out of having them in enclosures. You know, now granted, in all fairness, I don't want to sound like, be a hypocrite or anything, but royals are not the most exciting pets in the world. I will hand that to anyone, but that doesn't mean they shouldn't be given ample space to choose when they want to, like I say, like explore and climb and bask. Like, one of them, for example, he quite likes cryptic basking, so I'll see like a little bit of his side hanging out. Like, yeah, exactly. And I would rather keep an animal in a big enclosure that I don't see, that's getting overhead heat UVB if it wants, than not. And just that I can see its face at the front of the box.
At least then you've given it the choice.
That's what it comes down to, choice. And there you go. That ties into it. What can you give
exactly.
like to a beginner? Give your reptiles choice.
Let
them have overhead
for example, heat. Sorry, you go.
No, I was going to say, let them have overhead heat, let them have UVB, let them have LEDs, darker spaces, lighter spaces, high up, low down, digging, water. Let them choose if they want to use it or not. It's not up to you. If you put them in a box, they haven't got a choice. You know what I mean? Like an empty box with a water bowl, they haven't got a choice. Give them choice, regardless of species. If people tell you it's a pet rock, it doesn't matter. Give them choices.
They are sentient. Like my hognose, this is a really good example. My hognose just behind me.
Yeah.
He is a burrowing species. Yeah, I have still tried my best to offer him that choice to climb, and I do often find him in his little cork buck that's raised on his background that he does enjoy. Yeah. But he does burrow a lot.
Yeah.
What was the other thing I wanted to tie in? Don't be fooled as well. The reptile space, the amphibian space, the invert space, it is expensive. I am a full supporter for things like Facebook Marketplace, getting secondhand enclosures, things like that. But you can't cut corners, like when it comes to equipment and sort of UVB and providing that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because like you say, there are ways to save money. Like, you can get a 4x2x2 off Facebook Marketplace for like 30 quid sometimes. Fine. But as long as you're willing to spend that 40, 50, 60, the hell is that? Oh, sorry. I just saw a spider inside Ragnar's enclosure. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. People love to go to inverts as a cheap alternative. Yeah.
It's not cheap.
No. Maybe I was worried about our Cresty going into this bigger enclosure, not seeing him. I had to explain it's kind of a good thing. Yeah. And this is the thing, like, this is why it's good to, this is why I'm getting even more into like the DIY backgrounds and things like that. And the plants, I'm getting very much into plants now as well, because you can create a centerpiece, a beautiful looking enclosure. Yes. Even if the animal isn't there, it can still be, you know, something nice to have in their house. You know what I mean? So there is that as well.
It's good to like feel proud about like the enclosures. Like for me, I want to show mine off. This one, by the way, is just Pluto's old temporary holding enclosure while I was setting this up. But this one here, he is in here. He's somewhere. But being proud about the enclosures, I think, you know, is the best feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Right, let's have a look. Who else we got? Done that one. Oh, there you go. That's this one. I think me and Paul covered this one. But what is the best reptile product? Obviously, in your opinion.
Luminize. How can I not say Luminize, guys?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's the most up-to-date technology in terms of lighting. Arcadia are the best. Jodie, if you're still watching, are the best in the reptile space in terms of lighting. To be honest, Arcadia products that I can recommend, definitely Luminize. And also,
I'll do a shameless advert as well. Try Omni Gold by Arcadia.
What else do I really enjoy? The supplements, the Earth Pro line from Arcadia is really, really beneficial. Mine are all behind me in their little.
Oh yeah, you got them in the little pots. Yeah.
They're all labeled. And what else? Any sort of like trusted brand for overhead heaters as well, and thermostats. I know Habistat are amazing for like thermostats. I really trust them. Those are like the ones that I will immediately recommend to people.
I wonder if anyone from Habistat is watching this this podcast as well. So Luminize, I've currently only got one UV unit that is Luminize. I haven't been able to get a what's it called, an LED to obviously join with it. So I haven't been able to utilize it properly. But from what I've seen so far and from what others have experienced, it looks great. It's something that I want to get. So from now on, when I'm buying new, I tuned out. Oh God, Habistat got a shout out. It is something. So next time I buy another UV unit, it will be a Luminize one. You know what I mean? Even if I haven't got the Jungle Dawn to go with it, slowly as I go, everyone's going to start getting that. The one I'm looking forward to, or am I most? So Ragnar's getting a new enclosure for Reptile Room 2.0. I've already got, I know, overhead heat, UVB, things like that. But when I do that new enclosure, I want to go top of the line. I want Luminize in there. I want, it's basically, I can give a little bit away. It's going to be 7 feet tall, this enclosure. And that's only because I can't go any taller. I'd love to go 8 foot tall, but 7 feet is how tall it's going to be.
If you don't mind disclosing, is this something you're building, or are you thinking grow 10? I don't know if like Ragnar would be able to get through a grow 10.
No, she'd get out of that grow 10 quick time. I'm going to be building it, and it's going to be there's going to be a lot of build videos coming soon.
That's really cool.
The whole
I'm looking forward to that.
That's coming, and then every time I build a new enclosure, so just for example, actually I don't think it's not a secret, I talk about it all the time. I want to get a green tree monitor as well, so I'm going to be it's not coming anytime soon, but I want one to the point where I'm going to build the enclosure for one, even if it takes me a year to get one.
Yeah.
I'm building a 7-foot tall green tree monitor enclosure. So there's a lot coming up. You know what I mean?
That's very exciting.
But yeah, with these builds, if I can, whenever I need to buy a new overhead heat UVB LED, I want to go luminize, and I basically want to make it as incredible as possible. So yeah, I agree. Paul, has anyone ever told you look like the Habistat guy? I hope Alicia's still here. I've just got my first luminize for my lychee, already thinking of upgrading the other guys. Yes. Yeah, easily done. Very easily done. Larry is obsessed with Omni Gold. Yeah, so is Dobby. Dobby loves it. I did him some earlier on, and he was out sharpish. I had to make sure it was cool enough for him to eat as well. Jungle Dawn's where it's at. Oh, look, we are both here. There we go. So we've got 2 people from Habistat in the chat. Appreciate you both. Uncanny, isn't it, Tara? My Habistat enclosure for my new boy is amazing. Yes, shout out to the new addition. Awesome little lychee. So for Repti Breeze, it's not going to be a Repti Breeze, I promise. What basking bulbs will you be using for the new setup, Riddler? Well, I'm going to have a few different sort of wattages and things like that, because I'm trying to emulate nature. So in the winter seasons, it's a little bit cooler, maybe a 75. And then at the minute it's 100, you know what I mean? So it's sort of going up and down. So I've still not fully got everything. I mean, I haven't even started the build yet. So there is that. We'll have a baby pink tongues in a few weeks. Oh, God. Michael, stop it. Stop it. I can't yet. A few weeks is too soon. I need to get Omni Gold and see what the idea is about. Did you not see those incredible reels during Omni Gold week? You know what I'm saying? Have you asked George what her favourite food is yet? Not yet. We'll save that until a little bit later. Habistat's enclosures are top tier. I can't wait to upgrade my Cresty into their 90, 60, 45. Nice. Looking forward to that. 2 times 50 watt is fine. Those Omni Gold videos are a bit. I thank you. Oh yeah, I did do a couple of those. I forgot about that. Shit, yeah, my bad. You know,
they were incredible.
I tell you what, the funniest part about it was obviously the first one, getting my missus to film me, like, you know, when I'm in the kitchen looking like an idiot.
Yeah.
And she did it, and I was like, "Oh, don't yeah." And she went, "I don't get it." And I was like, "You don't have to get it." She was like, "But what are you doing?" I said, "No, just wait. Let me put it together.
Just read the script."
Yeah. Just do what." But the funniest part about it, you know, and I obviously stood there going, "Oh," I said, "Just let me do it for a couple of seconds, switch light on and come in." The first time we did it, I was stood there doing that for about 10, 15 seconds. And I ended up stopping and looking at her and going, "What are you doing?" I'm stood here going,
"Oh." You have your moment.
I was like, "You meant to switch the light." "Oh, right. I thought you wanted to tell me when to do it." I was like, "No, I've been stood here going, oh," for 15 seconds. Christ. And then she heard me doing the jokes for the next one. And she was like, "I don't know what you're doing down there, but it's..." And I was like, "Again, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it."
I can just like imagine you like chuckling to yourself, like.
Yeah, it was funny. Yeah. Getting your non-content creator partner to help with filming is interesting. It is very, very interesting.
Alex doesn't record very often, and when he does, it is a miracle.
End of the month, we'll send lots of stripy baby pictures. They're so cute. The baby pink tongues are so cute. It is ridiculous. But I can't have one yet. My Aki eggs have started to dent. 3 to 5 days we'll have babies. Now, an Aki is on the list very much. He doesn't look like that in real life. He looks like a Head and Shoulders advert. Wait, who's that? Who are we talking about? I'm not sure. Wait, that was scripted. It was, yeah. Yeah, it was. Oh, Aki babies.
Aki monitors have recently grown on me.
Ah, they're so cool. They are so cool. Kyle likes to turn the camera back at himself and pretend he's filming me. Next clutch is 18. Good lord.
Oh my gosh.
Get a tree monitor instead. It's coming, Matt. You know, Matt, if you know anyone that's breeding green trees,
wink wink.
It's maybe a good job Gage is already cursing you. Omnigold versus Insectigold, which do you prefer and why? I haven't tried Insectigold.
I haven't yet either.
So I couldn't actually say. I think Lou has tried both. So Lou, if you're here and you have tried both, let us know. But I've not tried Insectigold. Especially for
I am keen to try Insectigold.
Yeah. Right, so where are we? So that was best reptile products. Here's an interesting one. The we'll have to change that, guys. Well, listen, you know, I mean, if you want to, I'm just saying, you know what I mean. My Akis within 2 weeks just walk up my arms. Yeah, they're so cool, man. I just love Akis. They're so cool. Right, so this is a good one. I like this one. What is the best reptile product not yet invented?
Right, okay. So I was in work coming up with an answer to this because I was like, oh my God, I know exactly. Right. So, it has to be a robot, right? That can spot clean my enclosures, that can give them a little wipe down of the glass, do all the sort of things that I don't really want to be doing. I'd love a little robot as well that could make like backgrounds for me, especially the carving bit, because I hate carving. Absolutely hate it. But yeah, and if there could be like a little robot in my house that does the washing up for the little tongs, and like it sorts out my live feeders, my insect feeders, then that would be excellent.
Have you ever seen the I think they're like cat litter trays that are almost like self-cleaning? They like sift through and take all that for a spot clean on a reptile enclosure would be incredible, especially for my milk snake, because being a colubrid, I don't know, well, actually I do know why, but she just shits so much more than the royals. It's incredible. Just,
oh my God.
I love her. She's my favorite snake that I own. There's no two ways about it. Like, I love my royals, fine, but my milk snake, she's incredible. She's out so often and she's so personable. She just shits all the time. Now, luckily, she doesn't shit in her water bowl. That's always a good one, because a lot of reptiles, like Ragnar, for example, the second I changed that like pond, her water pond, that's it. She's like, thank you for cleaning my toilet. I'm going to go back in there again. I'm like, yeah. Riddler, how long have you owned a beardie for? Probably about 5 years. Leave me alone. One of my Rango loved Omnigold. She loved it. So I will have to try Insectigold. Pip and friends, but none of my business. My Cresty and Leo love Insectigold, and my Jeweled Lacerta and Tenrec love the Omnigold. So I think it depends on which animal. That Tenrec is so cute. It's not even funny. Like, I think it was either earlier on today or yesterday, but Lou put up a picture on her story of that Tenrec having a little sleep. Killed me. Absolutely killed me.
I need to see that.
So cute.
See it. I will check it out afterwards.
Jeweled Lacertas are stunning as well. I want one of those litter trays. They're insane. Yeah, but I think they're like 800 quid if I remember correctly. My Beardy and Panther Chameleon loved Insectigold. Haven't tried it with the monitors yet. is snake poo really as bad as they say? Well, let me put it this way, right? When I very first got a royal python, the first poo I ever saw in her vivarium, I thought the cat had got in there and dropped one. And that's no word of a lie. Now, obviously it didn't, because don't let your furry animals interact with your reptiles, because it can be dangerous. Yeah. I saw this thing and I looked at the snake and I was like, did you... What?
How does that fit?
It's unbelievable. We've heard one of them fart/poo from 2 rooms away. That was outrageous.
And if you've ever had a snake poo on you, it's not fun.
No.
It's happened to me far too many times. It actually happened to me on live once when Pluto was like just going through my jumper.
Nice.
And he shat all down my back. So that
nice.
was not the
That's
most
just what
pleasant
you want.
experience.
Yeah.
And then he started gliding in it. And
nice.
Yeah.
I always used to find, when I was in the reptile shop, I always used to find that the corn snakes just love spreading it. Like the royals at least will do it somewhere in a corner, somewhere, or, you know, not like they're trained, but it's just like a log in a corner. I don't know what it was with the corn snakes, but it's just like they'd go, right, it's time. And as they do it, just like shake their tails as well. And you're like, or like just smear it up the glass. And I was just, oh, yeah.
I can't say I've ever had that with Pluto.
Yeah.
But
King
yeah,
maybe
he just saves it for me. I don't know.
Yeah. Larry only ever poos in his water bowl if he's shedding, thank God. The rest just like to drag dirt in them. Yeah. Haggis. Oh, hail. Wow, look at this love that Haggis the Tenrec is getting. I love Haggis. He's so cute. Dorito boy. King Haggis. Unfortunately, the emojis aren't working on my screen, but I'm assuming everyone, all hail Haggis. Here we go. I got one. What gives someone the right to be a content creator and educate people? Where is the line?
That's a good question.
That is a good question. See, this is something that I struggle with. I very much have imposter syndrome, and I sometimes don't feel like I have the right to try and educate. Now, I think that sort of helps because I almost don't want to say the wrong thing. So if I'm going to try and help someone, I'm either going to make sure I know the answer, and if I don't, I will find someone that does.
Mm-hmm.
I think those that are just happy to almost think they know the answer and spout it everywhere and not question anything, that's where it can become dangerous.
And harmful, yeah.
Yes.
100%. What was I going to say? It's just gone again. Could you repeat the question for me again? Sorry.
Yes. So what gives someone the right to be a content creator and educate people? Where's the line?
It really depends on your intent. But the imposter syndrome, honestly, I get that all day, every day. Especially as I've sort of changed up my approach when it comes to my sort of presence online.
Yeah.
And also we touched on it earlier with the mentions of my knowledge and sort of how many I keep, you know, how am I sort of able to give advice, that sort of thing. And I frequently like think, you know, some days I'll like curl up and I'll be like anxious, like wreck, thinking, oh my God, maybe I am just talking out my ass 24/7, like, you know.
Yeah.
But I'd like to think that, you know, if you're aware of reptiles in particular and their sentience, and you have their sort of well-being and ideas on their care and the best for that animal, you know, and you're double checking your sources and you're constantly updating that, you know, I don't see the harm of spreading it online, you know, the positive message of helping people. It's just when it goes a bit beyond help and maybe more shame.
I think you also have to be willing to be wrong. You know, I think that's a different one. Like if you're happy to put something out online and someone questions you, instead of shutting up and saying, no, this is how you do it. In actual fact, just a little spoiler, Nay talks about this in our podcast on Thursday. She put a video up, I think it was of Fig the Frog, if I remember correctly, again, this is all coming on Thursday, so tune in. Someone sent her a message, let her know this is wrong because this and that. And they very easily could have gone, no, it's absolutely fine. But she took that on board, spoke to this person, found out what the crack was, and got it sorted. And there you go, happy, healthy animal. And the only reason that it could have looked like this person was attacking me was because there was a language barrier. You know what I mean? So it's no fault of their own, you know, and sometimes we're too quick to go, wow, why are you being shitty? But this person was helping and just happened to. So yeah, but yeah, that's coming soon.
And
but yeah, you've got to be.
I really like what you said though about taking ownership of maybe your wrong approach or maybe wrong ideas. 100%. I think that's really, really valuable to acknowledge on an online sort of presence.
Well, because the thing is, I think it needs to be done more, mainly because people are too scared to do it. Like, people don't want to admit to being wrong in case someone drags them for it. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. Absolutely not. We don't know everything all the time about everything. You know what I mean? Like, it's as simple as that. Let's just say I kept a hog nose and you messaged me and said, Andrew, by the way, what you're doing here with your hog nose is maybe not right because this and that. I'm not going to go, I don't know what you're talking about, mate. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go, didn't ask. I'm going to look at, you know, the fact that you're knowledgeable about it. You know more about it than I do. And I'm going to go, all right, cool. Sweet, appreciate it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, anaconda poo is awful. I wouldn't know. We've still got some poo talk going on in the chat as well. Jody, my boa's poo is bigger than my German Shepherd. God damn, that is outrageous.
That is big poo.
Fig the frog does worse poops than my snake. Really? Oh, I wouldn't have called that. I would not have called that. Down your back. I remember. I got to get going, but I hope you have an amazing rest of the live. I'll try and make it to the live on Thursday. Bye, George and Riddler. Appreciate you. Thank you for joining. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's not a live, but it will be a live premiere of the pre-recorded podcast. So thank you. Appreciate you. Oh, there you go. When I help my friend with the baby MBKs, they love to flick the musk in my face every time. I don't know what it is. They drop stuff and just do that, and it goes everywhere. And you're like,
oh my gosh!
Let's plug my phone in. Continuous self-improvement and the desire to learn and grow.
100%.
Also,
growth
the ability
mindset
to
every
admit,
time.
Yeah. Also, the ability to admit when you don't know the answer. Yeah. Agreed. I missed Haggis's hype. The issue I see, so many people put out wrong stuff with the best intentions in the world. Yeah, I get that, but the problem is it is very easy to do. You know, anyone's video can go viral or be shown to people, whether or not it's the right, you know, content or not. It could be full of misinformation. It could get lucky in an algorithm, be seen by 20,000 people. There's 20,000 people that have either seen misinformation and believed it, or, you know, hopefully it falls to someone that can correct them. But then if they do an updated video and say I was wrong with that, those 20,000 people who saw the misinformation, you might get 200 people see the updated version. So there is the danger with that as well.
Yeah. It's important to also look out for, you know, why someone might be posting certain things. Shock factor is a very big thing online.
Yeah.
Especially on, well, every platform really. But every sort of platform does it, that sort of shock factor. Just being mindful of why maybe someone might be posting that specifically about reptiles, because there is a lot of stigma.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was something else I want to say, but I can't remember it. It's poofed.
I thought I heard someone coming down the stairs. I was about to go, oh, god damn, is it time? No, I don't think it is. We're all good. Direct people elsewhere for information. Yeah. Having correct references to back yourself up when needed. Yeah.
Oh, that was it. Yeah. And signposting people, you know, who might know more than you on specific like topics and specialisms within, you know, the reptile sphere.
Yeah.
100%.
Imposter syndrome is so real.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get imposter syndrome every day and I get loads of messages. It's scary. Yeah. To counter the question, how do we deal with the non-good people, especially in our circles?
Gosh. I've actually, so when I was sort of going on a bit of like a detour with my content, I had lots of friends that were like willing to support me. I think Nay dug me out of a rut a few times and was like, hey, do you think this approach is sort of productive? Maybe we should like look towards this sort of aspect, you know. Having those friends and that network that, you know, you can rely on and trust for pointers. And like no sort of joke, content creation is tough and imposter syndrome happens, but having those people around you that can, you know, guide you in a kind and safe way is so valuable.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I think we discussed it, and it's something I've discussed the game before. Like, you can't go straight in for the kill. You can't go aggressive, because people will shut up shop very, very quickly. Very quickly. It has to be dealt with as calmly as possible. You know, the thing is, obviously, there are lives at stake with our hobby. Do you know what I mean? So you have to approach it but then at the same time, there's people involved as well, obviously. So it's getting that right balance of, we need these animals to be safe, but I also need to approach this person. Do you know what I mean? It's like that person can be the middle person in between that animal being okay. So I think a lot of it just has to be a chat. It has to be spoken about. Maybe not calling them out online in front of people. So like,
don't make it public, because
like, even if it's let's just say someone puts a reel up of bad husbandry, don't comment on that reel. Message and say, you know, by the way, mate, or by the way, you know, this and that and blah blah blah. Because if you put it public, they might see it as a public attack. If you put it public, that other people might start getting involved as well. So I think it needs to be done with both discretion, but I guess kindness as well.
Compassion, I think, is the one I will always stand by. Like, compassion now.
Yeah. I think a polite message to the person is always a good step. Yeah.
Or just commenting maybe that, you know, you're always here for support if and when needed. You know, if it's maybe a smaller creator that you can see is sort of maybe hasn't looked at quite the right care and approach, you know, that sort of thing, and signposting them.
Part of the problem is there's often huge amounts of variety out there, and some people know the response that they want, confirming their opinion, so will ask the question until they get their answer. Facts. That, my friends, is biased research. That is when you look up things like, why do royal pythons like being in racks, instead of, how should I keep my royal python? You already know the answer you want, and I did it. Again, that's why I know it for a fact. You know what I mean? So, and yeah, it's true. You need to be open-minded. You need to make sure you're covering all bases. Damn, there's a lot going on. Damn.
All the comments.
Loads. God damn. Oh, there you go. That's a good one. You can also make your own video with the correct care without bashing the other creator. The people that want to learn will probably follow. So that's
lead
by
good. Example. That sort of vibe. I love that.
Right. So to be honest, I did speak to George about this before, but I am going to have to wrap up in 15 minutes time. So we've got 15 minutes, and I've got a couple of bangers that I wanted to save until now. So the first one that I wanted to go for, and in actual fact, both of we might have to do this again, George, because we've still got other questions. I'm sure you won't mind that either, but we may have to save some for next time. But these two were from Dan, Nardini Exotics. Shout out. So first things first, we'll go for, what are your goals for 2024? I will let you. Love it.
Frogs. Yeah, I'm really excited for Jupiter and Neptune to come home with me and really venture into the sphere of amphibians. Lots of content on amphibians and setting up their, you know, quarantine. The vet trips are already booked. Like, let's go with the Froggos. I know it's not reptile related, but
no, that's fine. No, it's in the hobby though, isn't it? So we can go with that. Yeah. How long until you get said Froggos? Do you know?
End of the month.
Nice.
So I'm not even sure it's 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, I don't think it is.
I'm scared.
Also, just as a quick one, I can only assume that every time we've said Froggos, Paul has wanted to quit the stream every time. Paul, please feel free to confirm or deny. But I know that every time I say Buggos, he wants to punch me square in the face. So, and I get that, you know what I mean? It's fine. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Like those mossy frogs are stunning. Like they are incredible. I would like to delve into amphibians at some point. I don't think it'd be this year, but they are cool. I do like the red-eye tree frogs.
It's an intimidating world to get into. It's been very intimidating. I've had so much to look because I thought, with reptile it can't be that different, but whoa, the amount of research and the amount of reading, Jesus Christ, like it's insane. And then the other thing I'm sort of exploring more in 2024 is there are, lots more sort of Arcadia things. That's all I'm gonna say.
Nice. So when I said that, Michael said he's already gone. Buggos and Froggos. Holly said, I'll start saying that at work now, to which Paul responded, anyone who refers to anything like that, I don't want you around me. Sorry, Paul. I'm so excited for the frogs. Buggo is the worst. Sorry, Dan. Too bad, Paul. You're stuck with me. I just don't like Riddler. Fair enough. And are you not planning a rebrand? So my plans for 2024.
Yes.
Are sort of in motion already. I've started buying materials for the new reptile room. I'm so excited to get started on it. Like, unfortunately, I've still got a couple of jobs to do around the house first, but I will get to them, I promise. I might even have 2 weeks of paternity leave coming up very soon, so I'll have time. Reptile Room 2.0 is coming. It is the obviously the help that I've got through it. Obviously, Paul has helped me out with some ideas. Dan has helped me out as well because I'm trying to think of where do I insulate, what do I not, how do I do this, where am I doing that, and things like that. So it's not by myself that I'm doing it. I'm doing it with help. But the building and things like that, I cannot wait to start. Like, I love DIY stuff. In actual fact, I bought some stuff from B&Q yesterday on my way to work, and I was so upset that I had all this wood and things like that in my car, and I couldn't go home and get started straight away. Like, I honestly, once I want to do something, I get so impatient.
Yeah, I get quite fixated.
Oh
when
God,
I've got a new project.
Yeah. It's so bad. Like, and I'll just be thinking about it. Like, I might be in bed later on, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, I want to get started, but I can't yet. But yeah,
100%. I'm the exact same.
Yeah, never say never. Holly, Buggo food coming 2024. Oh God, new sprayer names. Rainmaker, perfect for your Froggos. New slogan. New venture, Paul's Buggos. I can see it now. Oh God, he's never going to speak to me again. But yeah, so that's the plan for 2024. So I'm going to get it built.
That honestly sounds so exciting.
Yeah, all of the reptiles I've currently got are going to go into that reptile room before I get anyone new. Everyone needs to be to the most adequate keeping I can for now. Obviously, not everyone's going to get luminized and stuff straight away because YouTube isn't paying enough for that. I mean, if people want to send, 150 quid super chat now, feel completely free. You know what I mean? But I'm not asking much. You know what I'm saying? But, children. No, you're just old. Don't say that because I'm older than. Yeah, see, look, Riddler's older than me. I am. Yeah. So that's the plan. Get everyone in the new reptile room. Get everyone set up. And that's the main plans. Going forward from there, potentially a male roughneck, not sure. Only a year, but looks 45. Outrageous. Allow me. Grandad Riddler. Wow. Embrace the buggos. But
Please.
yeah. Oh, see, I don't know if we're going to have time for this last one. We've only got 9 minutes to go.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Don't think, because it's a big one. It is one, like I say, that we are. Oh, hello. £3 super sticker. Oh, Nay, you're a legend. Appreciate you. Thank you. There's £3 towards that 150.
It's a start.
A gold star for my troubles. Riddler had an uphill paper round. Wow. It was a tough paper round, I'll give it that. And I'm about to be a father of 2, so I'm only going to start looking older soon as well. But, you know, it is what it is. I don't think we're going to have time. I tell you what, I'm going to tease people with it first, right? Now, in all fairness, like, the conversation about this is coming potentially next week anyway. But this would have been a good one for me and you to discuss, and we can discuss it in the future as well.
Amazing.
Dan said, is cohabbing bad, or is new keepers cohabbing bad? I love that question. I don't know what's going on with me recently, but I cannot stop thinking about the idea of cohabbing. Now, this is what I'm not saying is keep 2 royal pythons together in a 4x2x2. No. The things I am thinking is what I've learned recently is in a lot of zoos, it's what some people do. They will keep teeny tiny geckos in with a royal python because A, it's not their prey item. It's not worth their time to attack a gecko this small. That gecko isn't fearing for its life in front of a snake that big because it knows it's okay. It's something else to have in the enclosure. It could potentially emulate nature a little bit more. Yeah, my G, $9.99 for buggos. Love you, Paul. Thank you.
He's embraced buggos.
He has, yeah, that little hair you got. Go. No, I'm using rosemary oil on it. Leave me alone. So I think, but it needs to be done. Again, we won't go into it too much because we can just sort of briefly. But I think the idea of having, like, we'll dabble, like having little geckos in an enclosure that could help eat fungus gnats, for example, that you know isn't going to get eaten by the snake. I can't see the problem, but at the same time, I don't think it can be done by anyone. I think it needs to be done by those who have got at least a little bit more experience. But then again, where do you draw the line?
Yeah,
it needs to be researched. It needs to be done properly, carefully. It's not to be done willy-nilly. So I'm not encouraging anyone to go out now and start cohabbing multiple species. Oh, but here you go. Yeah. Lewis said the green tree python and the darts at Chester Zoo. Do you know what I mean? There's almost, because part of you would be like, well, that's surely predator and prey. But from what I've heard, like the green trees are up in the trees, the frogs are on the floor. There's not really going to be a chance. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's an incredible idea, but it has to be done properly. It has to be.
Yeah, there needs to be a lot more sort of research done into it before we can properly sort of explore that as keepers. I don't think just yet in the sort of reptile sphere it's something we can sort of do just yet correctly. Yeah.
Mention of a cohab I plan to do on the Thursday pod. Yeah, tune in for that one. Tune in next week for more. I didn't want to say it out loud because last time I mentioned something like this with Paul, he was like, great, he's just dragged me in front of everyone and now I have to do it. So Paul has mentioned it. Myself and Paul should be doing a live stream next week where we really go into the cohabbing of reptiles and things like that. So that's going to be cool. There is a species of day gecko that comes from the same range as your royals. Yeah, they're tiny. Gary, $9.99 for the baby, not you. Aww. What, as in baby monitor?
I'll just be 2 seconds.
Yeah, no worries. Yes, Gary. We've seen loads of AHH. there was a whole talk on the subject that Riddler missed. I couldn't come. I'm sorry. I apologize. Guys, can we appreciate that we're all going to be uncles and aunts within the week? Yeah, that will be announced as soon as possible. The new addition to Riddler Reptiles will be announced as soon as she's here. Because yes, I'm having a little girl, by the way, for anyone that didn't know. So my boy is about to become a big brother. I will super £2 every live if you never say buggo again. If you say it once, you owe me £2. I will do my absolute best. But thank you for another $4.99, Paul. I appreciate you. Thank you. What size enclosure does the new arrival need? Well, we're starting her off in a small grow-out enclosure, and then we'll slowly get bigger.
I think Clint's Reptiles made a video on that. The human child care requirements or something.
She's going to be very well protected, even oceans away. Gary, I love you, man. You're such a legend. Not just in the lives, in life. Oh, that's even harder. All right, I'll see what I can do. But yeah, I think, George, to be fair, I think you need to come back on at some point.
I think so.
I think we need
we should get some good debate questions going.
Yeah, like I say, it's because of obviously all the potential for baby and things like that. I have to cut this one short.
No, it's
so we'll do it another time when there's no sort of
100%.
Jenny, wait.
Oh, sorry, my dog's here.
Oh right, okay. I was looking in the chat for someone called Jenny. I was like, who's Jenny? Have I missed saying hello?
This is my doggo.
I need UVB for that. Yeah. Let's see, doggo. Oh look.
This is Jenny.
Yeah.
She's a bit stressed right now.
Oh bless her. Children so far are the worst pet you can get. Holly, I'll say it enough for you.
She's not usually allowed in this room, but for today, she's allowed.
Oh, bless her.
Yeah.
It seems I have an ally in Holly. Appreciate you. Thank you. Wait, doesn't he take the baby out for a walk each morning? Yeah, so natural UVB. Natural UV. I'm one and done. No more children for me. After this one, no more. I'm not having any more than 2.
Guys, it popped out of my tripod. I do apologise.
Good luck on your new human. Thank you. Boops for Jenny. I'll just keep throwing one piece of rubbish. Add Doggo to the list. No, don't add Doggo. I can't stop with Doggo. No way. But yeah, for everyone that has joined, thank you. Appreciate you. It's been a blast, even if we have had to cut it a little bit short. But again, George, this is the problem we faced with Riddler's Rambles. Like, we went on for like 3 hours. Obviously, I had to cut it down a little bit, but it just keeps going.
I love it. I think it's great. The fact that
I appreciate it.
Keep going.
Yeah. We'll have to get you on for a round 2 of a live Q&A.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'll be a bit more lively next time. I'm sorry, it's been a very long day.
No, don't worry about it. No, same here. But yeah, so I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for joining. I've thoroughly enjoyed this. Have a great rest of the evening. Well done, guys. This is super interesting. Yeah. Everyone, if you're not following George already, Reptilian Mentality on TikTok, Instagram.
TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube.
And YouTube as well. Excellent. Lovely stuff. Jody, much love to you too. Appreciate you, Jody. Thank you for joining. It's been lovely hanging out with you guys. Thank you, Lou. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Lou.
Ken, off to feed the Nocturnal Squad. Thanks for joining, mate. Appreciate you. Dan, laters. And thank you for those questions, Dan. Appreciate them. I'm sorry we couldn't get into them anymore, but yeah, appreciate that.
There's always a next time.
There is, yeah. Great live. Thank you. £3 super sticker. Thank you, Billy. Appreciate you. Legend. That for the live, you too. Thank you for the live, you two. You've been amazing. Thank you, Holly, for joining.
Thanks, Holly.
Matt, goodbye. Thank you for joining. Baum, thank you for joining, mate. And Tara, thank you as well. Right, everyone. It's been an absolute pleasure. George, thank you for coming on. We will have to do this again.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, anytime. We'll definitely have to do this again, but I appreciate 100%. You. And yeah, everyone take it easy. Peace out. Lots of love.